Hi, you're with Chandeep at Goodly once again, and in this video I'm going to talk about how do you combine data from multiple Excel files or sheets. But I have actually spoken about this topic several times on my YouTube channel in the past. The only thing different this time is that I have been asked a question a lot of times. While you're combining data from multiple sheets or files, there are a few junk rows on the top and we would like to get rid of the junk rows before we combine the data. So in this video we'll take a look at that tweak, that how do we get rid of equal number of junk rows or unequal number of junk rows that are there on the top of the data, remove them, and then combine the data from multiple sheets or files or whatever that might be. Let's start. Alright, I'm in this Excel file that contains the data. You can see that we have data on sheet number 1, sheet number 2, and sheet number 3. Now, these are 3 sheets of data within a single Excel file, but this could also be very well 3 different Excel files altogether. But just to make the process of video creation a little easier, I have just used 3 sheets of data. Nevertheless, please take a look at the data. So the data actually begins with the third row, and the first 2 rows are the junk rows right here. Simple, date, category, and the value column. In sheet number 2 also I have the same data, the date, category, and the value column, but the number of junk rows that are there on the top are unequal. That means in the first sheet we had 2, here we have 3 junk rows on the top of the data. If I go over to sheet number 3, there are no junk rows in this particular data, and the data actually starts legit from the first row itself, date, category, and the value column. Let's just load this data into Power Query. Take a look at different tweaks that we have to do in Power Query to get rid of the junk rows and then combine the data from these 3 sheets and put it out all together. Alright, I'm in Power Query window, and that's where I have connected my Power Query with that Excel file that I was working on, and you can take a look that I have the 3 sheets of data, sheet 3, sheet 2, and sheet 1. I also have the tables next to that, and I can actually peek into the tables to take a look at is the data loaded or not. So if you take a look at sheet number 3, you can see that there was no junk row, and said there is no junk row that appears up on the top. Although the first row is not really promoted to the headers, we will deal with that in a while. If I take a look at the second sheet, we have 3 junk rows. If I take a look at the first sheet, actually, we have 2 junk rows right here. Now, let's just cover the first scenario. In case the number of junk rows of each of these data sets is equal, then how would we actually remove the junk rows on the top, right? Equal junk rows, as of now, we have unequal, but let's just assume that if we had equal number of junk rows on the top, how could we remove them and then combine the data? All right. To be able to do that, I'm actually going to use the table.skip function and skip the first 2 rows of the data, assuming that 2 rows are junk in every single data set. So I'm just going to go ahead to the Add Columns tab and create a new custom column. In the custom column, I'm going to use the function called table.skip. So let me just write that, table.skip. Now the table.skip function asks you, hey, what's your table from which you want to skip the number of rows? So I'm going to say that, hey, this table is the first table, then the second table, then the third table. In each of these 3 tables, I would like to skip rows. Now, because I know that number of rows are equal to be skipped in every single row that I have, in every single table that I have, I can just write the number of rows. So the first part is obviously the table name. So, and I'm just going to say that the tables can be fetched from the data column. You can see that the data column contains the 3 tables, and the number of rows are, for example, 2 rows of data. So I'm just going to say 2, and the first 2 rows are then going to be skipped, and we will now have like a table again created right here. And the difference between this table is that it will not have any junk rows on the top. Now, we definitely had unequal number of junk rows in this particular data. So if you take a look at from the second table, we still have 1 junk value here, and here we've actually skipped 2 valid rows of data, but that's okay. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. Now, obviously the headers are not promoted here, so I can just wrap my function around in the table.promote headers function right here. So table.promote headers, and close that and close the bracket right here and commit to the formula, press OK. The difference now in this particular table is that the first 2 junk rows are removed and the headers are promoted. Now, assuming that all the 3 tables in your scenario had 2 standard junk rows on the top, this would be a very easy way to just get rid of the junk rows on the top and just combine the data. Now that you have all the 3 tables right here, you can expand them and the data gets combined from all the 3 tables. But the problem with us is now that we do not have equal number of junk rows on the top. Let's just see that what changes can we make to the table.skip function in order to accommodate for unequal number of junk rows on the top. Alright, so what I have done is I have deleted that particular step that was limiting us to delete only 2 rows from the top of every single table. Now that we have 3 tables wherein the first few rows are junk and we don't really know the number of the first few rows, let's just go refine our M logic. Let me just help you understand the logic. We'll do some rough work and then we'll finally build the formula. Please take a look. If I go take a look at the second table right here, in this particular table, you can see that we have 3 junk rows on the top. how do we identify unequal number of junk rows? Let me just build a very simple check. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a check something like this. I'm going to say that, hey, why don't you pick up the entire first row? A full row of any particular table is called a record. So I'm going to say that, hey, take a look at the first record, and why don't you take a look at the values of that record? These values should be actually date, and should be category, and should be value, because date, category and values are the actual headers of my data. If you don't have the headers, then remove all the things which are above the headers that do not match the description of the headers. Then you perform the same check. Do you have date? Do you have a category and value or not? If this is not the case, then you remove it, and finally the check is going to be true here, and the check is going to stop working right here. That is the check that I'd like to build and test it out for every single table that I have in each and every single row. Now, there are two parts to this particular logic building. First is that how do you extract the entire row? That's part number one, which is nothing but the entire record, right? The second logic of this particular problem is that once you extract the record, how do you then start to test every single value in that particular record? How will I actually extract the date, the category, and the value, which are the three components of the record, and then map it against the actual headers of the data? So I'm going to do some rough work, and hopefully you will be able to understand the extraction of the record and then comparing it with the three values that I want. So let's just load this particular table for now, and let's just start to do some rough work. Let me click on that table, and the table actually gets loaded. A few extra steps that I'm going to delete, and I'm going to get back to my entire table. Now, in this particular table, let me just write a very simple function right here. Go to the Add Columns tab and create a custom column. The part that I'm starting up with now is to extract the entire row, which is nothing but the record. For now, I'm just going to write an underscore. An underscore simply means the current item. If you already know, when you create a custom column, that custom column, whatever formula that you write here, is applied to the first row, then applied to the second row, then applied to the third row, so on and so forth. The underscore that I have written right here simply means the current item. So if the formula is working in the first row, it means the first current item, the second current item, the third current item. What is the current item? The current item is the entire first row, which is nothing but the record, right? So if I just write the underscore and click on OK, I get the first record, the second record, the third record, and the fourth record. The values are right here. All right, once I get the record, as of now, the record is in three different columns. This is the item of the first column, this is the item of the second column, this is the item of the third column. Let me just convert these items, the three values that I have, date, category, and value, into a single list so that I'm able to easily compare it with what I want. So I'm just going to use another function which converts the record into a list. So I'm going to say something like the underscore produces a record, and I'm going to wrap this around record.toList and write an underscore inside of that. So record.toList is going to convert that record into a list. I'm just going to commit to this formula, press on OK, and what I get as an output is a list. And you can see that all the three values are combined. And now I can actually build a simple check that, hey, take a look at this list, and I'm going to give you my list, and my list is going to have the same values, date, category, and the values. Do these two lists match or not? If they don't match, remove them. If they match, keep it, and henceforth all the rows are going to be kept. Now that you've understood the logic of extracting the record, converting the record to a list, and then doing a match, let's just write a comprehensive M code that actually satisfies this condition, but in all the three tables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this particular function, this particular step as well, and get back to the step that I had all the three tables. I'm going to go to the Add Columns tab. In the Add Columns tab, I'm just going to click on Custom Column and start to write my function right here. I'm going to start to write table.skip and start the bracket. Table.skip function, the first part is nothing but the table. From which table do you want to skip the rows? So the tables from which I want to skip the rows are right here in the data column, the first table, the second table, the third table. So I'm just going to feed the data column right here. Now, since I do not have standard number of rows to skip, nor two, nor three, they're unequal in nature, I'm going to write some logic right here. So first of all, let me just write an underscore. The underscore simply means that the three tables that I have, go take a look at every single row. Every single row is nothing but a record, but the record needs to be converted as a list. So what did we learn? We actually learned about a function called record.toList, which converts the record to a list. Now, once you actually form that list needs to be compared with my own list, and in my own list, I'm going to create the legitimate headers that I want. What are the headers that I want? I'm just going to say that the headers that I want are date. To be able to form a list, you obviously have to use the curly brackets. So date, the second one is the category, and the third one is the value. All right. Now, the only thing that I'm missing in this particular formula is the each keyword, because I want to go in every single row of the first table, the second table, the third table. To be able to extract the entire record, I have to write the each keyword right here. I'm just going to say each first row, map it against this particular each, the second row, the third row, the fourth row, so on and so forth. Let's just see what do we get as an output. So I'm just going to click on OK, and I again get a table. But if I peek into this table, the first table had no junk rows, so no change. If I take a look at the second table, all the junk rows are gone. And if I take a look at the third table, all the junk rows are actually gone. So it has removed the junk rows which did not match the condition. Now, one thing that you have to understand about the condition that you write, this particular condition is going to stop working as soon as the condition becomes false. Till the time the condition is true, it will keep removing the rows. As soon as the condition becomes false, this stops to work, right? Because it's actually removing the first few rows of the data. All right, let's just click on cancel. And as of now, the headers are obviously not promoted. So what I can do is I can click on that formula right here, wrap this entire thing around the table.promote headers and close that bracket, and just format this a little bit and just close that bracket right here. Now I'm just going to click on OK. And now the three tables that I get, the headers are pretty much promoted. What I can do is I can expand these tables. Let me just do that. Right click, remove other columns, expand the three tables, uncheck, say OK. And now, of course, change the data type as well. So home tab, go to the transform, detect data type, and I can load this particular table back into my Excel. All right, before we close on this particular video, let's just go test the output, right? So what I'm going to do is in sheet number 3, which did not have any junk rows on the top, I'm going to create a few junk rows on this particular data. Let's just see, does it combine the data actively or not? So I'm just going to go up on the top and maybe create, let's just say 3 junk rows, but not really write the word junk, but write anything literally junk. So let's just say ABC or whatever that might be. Let's just also increase the number of rows so that we can finally test the output. I'm just going to say Control C, Control V, and add a few rows to this data. Now we have increased the number of rows, but we've also added 3 junk rows on the top. The first sheet has got 3, the second sheet has got 3 rows, and the third sheet has got 2 junk rows. Let's just save this Excel file. I'm going to close it, get back to my query right here, right click and do a refresh, and this should actually give me extra number of rows loaded, which are definitely 29 rows loaded, but the junk rows don't appear right here, and the data gets combined correctly from all the 3 sheets. All right, that was all about removing the first few junk rows of the data and then combining the data into a single data set. Now, obviously, you may have equal or unequal number of junk rows. I've tried to give you solutions of both. Obviously, you can tweak and change the pattern and adjust it to your own need. If you have any questions around this, please feel free to drop in a comment and I'll be glad to reply. In the end, a quick shout out about my DAX and my Power Query courses. In case you're starting out with Power BI and you need help right from scratch to understand the fundamentals first and then move on to solving more challenging, more sophisticated problems of your data, I'd highly recommend that you take a look at my courses. It's going to be highly beneficial. Thanks so much for spending time with me. Indeed, this was a long one, and I'll catch you once again in the next one. Cheers and bye-bye.